Namaste to all. In today's car talk, we will understand a very beautiful Veda mantra from Purush sukta. The mantra is like this: Om Yetavanasya Mahimato Jayanscha Purushah Pado Asya Vishwa Bhutani Tripadasayamritam Divi. Many people have a doubt in this mantra, and they have a misunderstanding that this mantra speaks about a finite Almighty God, because this mantra speaks about 1/4 of the power, 3/4 of the power of Almighty God. So God is having a finite power, etc., which is totally wrong. And secondly, some people have a misunderstanding that this mantra speaks about an Almighty God who has a form. This is also totally wrong. And before going into the mantra, we must understand the meaning of Purusha. This is part of Purusha sukta. Purusha sukta is actually available in Yajurveda 31st chapter. It is also there in Rigveda 10th mandal. It is also there in Samaveda. It is also there in Atharvaveda. The pattern of the mantras are a little bit different, but the Purusha sukta is available in all the 4 Vedas, and Purusha sukta actually glorifies Almighty God. It is a beautiful stuti, and Purusha sukta speaks about the deepest secrets of universe creation and the purpose of our life, etc. So here in this mantra, Almighty God gives a very, very deep knowledge. God says, Etavan asya mahima. That Almighty God's mahima, that Almighty God's power, that Almighty God's glory cannot be, you cannot imagine the glory of Almighty God. It is unimaginable. The grandeur of Almighty God is unimaginable. Because the word used in this mantra is Jayanscha Purushah. My Acharya has beautifully written a bhajan based on this mantra, and in that he says that Tujh aage teri rachna kuch bhi nahi hai, rachna ke kan kan mein tu rachna se badkar hai. That means, hey Almighty God, by seeing this universe, people see this universe is 13.8 billion years in length. It is so big, it is so vast. For the sun to go around one round of this Milky Way, it will take 22 million years. Such a big Milky Way, and Milky Way is one of the smallest galaxies. There are 100 million stars in each of the galaxies. Some of the galaxies got 300 billion stars. There are 300 trillion galaxies in this universe. So when you see this universe, scientists are saying that, okay, this is a vast universe, unimaginable. Some people say that it is not a finite universe, it's an infinite universe. Whereas when we understand from Almighty God, God says this universe is nothing. God says, Jayanscha Purushah. This universe, the entire cosmos, the total universe is nothing in front of my power. That's why God cannot be, just by my Acharya says a beautiful statement. Do not say that, okay, this world is extremely wonderful, so Almighty God must be super. My Acharya says that you cannot compare that, okay, by seeing this world, you cannot say that God is great. God is so beyond this. This creation is nothing in front of Almighty God. That's what is the mantra saying. Jayanscha Purushah Pado Asya Vishwa Bhutani. This entire cosmos is made by the power of Almighty God, and the power used by Almighty God in making this entire universe is Padaha. Padaha does not mean 1/4. Padaha actually means, in a deeper sense, like a very minute power, like an atom, like 1/crore of an atom. For example, God is infinite. Very, very minute power of Almighty God acts on the Prakriti, and this universe gets created. So that is the real meaning of Padaha. Padaha does not actually mean 1/4, because God is formless. There is no 1/4 of Almighty God. God's power is infinite. There is no 1/4 of the power of infinity. So Padaha Asya Vishwa Bhutani means this entire cosmos is made from a minute power of Almighty God. And Tripad Asya does not mean 3/4. Tripad, Padaha Tripad. In mathematics, when you subtract 1/4 from 1, the remaining is 3/4. So the meaning of Tripad is not 3/4. The meaning of Tripad is remaining. The remaining power of Almighty God. The Almighty God creates this entire universe with this minute power. The remaining power of Almighty God remains in Amritam Divi, remains in God Himself. That means the remaining power of Almighty God is immortal. That power does not act to create anything. That power is so vast that it is remaining in Almighty God Himself. Three-pad does not mean 3/4. Three-pad actually means the remaining portion of the power. Means you remove a minute power. God uses a very, very minute power to create this universe. The remaining power does not act at all. So by this we can understand the greatness of Almighty God, the mightiness of Almighty God. That's why we must always understand that we must always have fear of Almighty God. Whatever deed we do in our daily life, we must always fear Almighty God, because God is omnipresent, because God is super powerful, God is almighty. Many people ask me a question that your Veda says that you must be a slave to Almighty God. See, God does not say slave to Almighty God. God does not use these kind of words in the Vedas. God says that this is my universe. You are living the life in my universe. So for you to live a happy life, you just follow my instructions. That's it. Following Almighty God's instruction does not mean that you are slave. Slave means somebody is taking you for a ride. Suppose I am a slave to somebody, I have to do anything and everything what he says. But here Almighty God says you must follow dharma, you must leave adharma. Leaving adharma is not slavery. Following dharma is not slavery. That we must understand. And God is not having mind like human beings or intellect like human beings. So a human mind can make slavery, but Almighty God is a divine. Almighty God is Divya Purush. So this is the secret of this mantra. We must always listen Veda mantras only from an Acharya. And I also listen from my Acharya. I'm trying to share it through my videos. So Pado Asya Vishwa Bhutani Tripadasya Amritam Divi Yetavan Asya Mahima. By seeing this universe, do not misunderstand that this is Almighty God's power. This is nothing in front of Almighty God. That is what we must understand from this mantra. And also the next mantra further clarifies. The further mantra says Abhavat Punaha Punaha Punaha. That means this small power does not get wasted. The small power gets manifested into this, in making this universe. When during the pralaya, the power again goes back to Almighty God. Again the same power gets creates this universe. So law of conservation of energy or momentum is also tallying with these kind of mantras. That we must clearly understand. Thank you so much. Namaste. Om.